Good evening, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jude, and I am starting this vlog to help people, especially newer competitors in the bodybuilding, figure, bikini, physique realm, to hopefully offer perspective and hopefully give them options, good options that will only benefit them, because it really is about the competitor, because without the competitor there is no bodybuilding show. So it's pretty late right now, but I want to first of all thank all the veterans for protecting and serving the United States of America, and for the 10th of November, I wanted to wish my alma mater, the United States Marine Corps, a happy birthday. To all my friends that are devil dogs, and to all of the current and former military, thank you for your service. And that being said, my topic is really which natural bodybuilding shows should you pick and what federation. Now, it's now 2015 going to 2016. It's pretty much turned to an alphabet soup of what to pick, what to do, like what do you do. So I'm kind of narrowing it down, and I'm gonna do it in 10 minutes. So hopefully, it's up to you ultimately, the athlete, to do your diligence. So I'm gonna offer some options, and we'll just take it from there. Fair enough. So let's do that. I'm gonna preface this first of all, me personally, that this is about the competitor, and secondly, I am biased. Okay, I'm gonna be very honest, 100% honest. I'm biased towards the OCB IFPA. I've been with them since 2007. And I've competed in other organizations, but as far as what I feel is the best natural organization right now, it will be the OCB IFPA. So I'm going to give them a little more, a bigger push. It's not to say the other organizations are bad. It's just that's where I fit. So I'm gonna go over why I choose them over other organizations. It's not to badmouth anyone. This is not a bashing video by any means. This is not. I hope it doesn't turn into one, but it's not going to turn into one on my end. In fact, if there's going to be comments when I post this, you're welcome to inbox me. You're welcome to call me, text me, whatever, or leave your comments. I'm not going to delete anything really unless it gets really, really bad. But you are more than welcome to promote or say what you got to say, because I figure if we're going to have an adult discussion, then it's an open mic, it's an open forum. So a little bit about my history. I competed from 2005, 2008, 2009 to now. I've pretty much been behind the scenes, but I'm probably going to step back on stage. I don't know when. I keep saying it, but I don't know when. So outside of promoting a show, I've pretty much done everything there is to do for natural bodybuilding. So I have about a 10-year track record. Not to say that I know everything, because I don't. And I want you to understand that when I give you this, it's because of my experience. It's not because I heard this from someone or I read this in a forum. I've experienced a lot of different things, way more good than not, but I'm hoping that it will allow you to transition a lot easier into picking which show or shows or which federations you feel best your fit will be in. So that being said, what do I look for for any show? Number one is the promoter. So leadership is everything. That's anything in life. So if, do at the end of the line, does a promoter give a crap about the competitor and their friends and their family? That's really what you should be asking yourself. So, second thing I look for, and most people disregard this, is a judging panel. Now, and it's because of my experience, titles are irrelevant as far as a judge. Like, if they have this pro title and a bunch of titles, it doesn't make them necessarily a good judge. So, if you happen to be whatever, I'm not saying you're bad or good. I'm just saying it doesn't matter. If you're a decent judge, you're a decent judge. If you're not a decent judge, you're not a decent judge. That's just the bottom line. And I think what you should look for, are they going based on the guidelines of their respective organization, and are they currently judging the physiques standing in front of them right now? And if they're doing that, then they at least are qualified to be sitting at that table at that moment. So the other thing I look for is consistent feedback from each judge. It's not to say that some judges won't see things differently, but if it's along the same realm of feedback for the competitors, because usually what I'll see is when competitors ask for feedback is, oh wow, well they said that too. So I'm like, okay, so we're all along the same lines. And usually the panels that I've worked with, we all pretty much see things the same, very similar. So the venue's number 3. I'm not looking for a 5-star hotel. I'm not looking for the Four Seasons, but I am looking for, all right, there's a nice stage, there's a nice lighting, nice sound system. It's not impossible to get to. How's parking? Parking is huge. How much parking do they have? Do you have to pay for parking? Stupid stuff like that, Is it in a nice area, or is it near attractive areas for your friends and family to go out afterwards? I mean, that stuff should be important. At least to me, it is. I mean, for some people that just want to compete, get in and out, then it shouldn't matter. But to me, it matters as far as location of venue, because you could end up spending way more money just to get to the venue. I mean, if that makes any kind of sense whatsoever. And the other thing you should look for, number 4, are the entry fees for your competitors, the coaches, friends, and family. That's what most people disregard, the entry fees for, the friends and the family. Most people disregard that until it's the day of the show, and then they bring like 20, 30, 40 people. Not exaggerating, but you bring a lot of people. They want to see you, and they can't afford to get in. So it stinks. And number 5, how organized are they from start to finish? That's a big deal. Now, I'm going to also say this. No bodybuilding show is perfect. It's not. No bodybuilding show is perfect because people aren't perfect. So I'm going to say this with a grain of salt. I'm giving you what I feel are the best options out there for you, the competitor, your friends, and your family, because that's really what it's about. It's about you guys. So you make the show. That's it. But the five things that I had mentioned, I hope you take all that into account. And then from there, you pick where you feel you fit. So I'm going to also say that, remember, this is a subjective sport. So, when you're dealing with anything subjective, and especially this sport, you're not going to make everyone happy. So that's just a given. You can't please everyone, so I'm not here to please everyone. In fact, if anything, this video is probably going to not please a lot of people, but I'm not. This again is about the competitor. So if you're kind of not pleased with me for whatever reason, then either step up your game, or you can talk to me, or you can say, oh, well, whatever. But again, this is from my experience. This is from what I've seen, what I've felt, when I've been in a venue, behind either in the audience or behind a table judging, behind a stage, or what I even take a lot of what the competitors say to me into account. I don't take everything, by their word, but I will take into account. So let's. I'm basically going to cover shows right now from New Jersey to New England. So it pretty much can cover Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts is the big one. Vermont, maybe. There's a couple shows, but again, that's pretty much the realm that I'll be covering because that's where I'm from, and those are the shows that I have the most experience with. So I'm going to talk more about those. Now I'm going to get into what's the difference between tested shows, which was what I'm talking about, natural organization, and non-tested shows. Number one, it's usually less expensive overall, as far as the entry fees, the membership fees, crossover fees. They're usually less expensive. Number two, membership is a full year. So from the moment you pay for that membership in a natural organization, it will go into the next year. So I know a couple of non-test. I know the one big non-tested organization is only good for January 1st to December 31st, and that's it. So if you compete, say, November, and you pay that one entry for that one show, for the membership, just to go do one show, you're only good. Your membership has to be renewed once you compete the following year because it's only good from November till December of that year. So that's kind of stinky. There's a polygraph. That's number three. It's usually $40 to do a polygraph. Basically, they're going to ask you questions. The person that's giving you the test, they're going to tell you what they're going to ask you, and then they're going to ask you questions, basically to check if you've used any kind of performance enhancements, diuretics, and they're going to ask you some crazy questions, but I don't know what they ask. So usually the polygraph too, which is cool, is depending on the organization and if they're tied into organizations, they'll honor the polygraph within a 2 to 3 week span. So say if you're doing a show, one show 1 week, and then the following week you want to do another show in the same organization, they'll honor the polygraph, so you don't have to pay $40 again. So it's kind of cool. But that being said, what now? That's all fine and dandy. But now, what should you do as the competitor? What should you do? Now, the first thing is you should, and I beg you, read the guidelines for each organization. The two most important things are the banned substance list and the posing. Each organization is slightly different as far as the banned substances, so read that. Posing, each organization too, slightly different. So depending, outside of bodybuilding, the women, you gotta read the rules more than the guys. The guys are fairly simple. Men's physique, you gotta kind of read the rules too, but the women are usually, that's the one where the organizations are slightly different. Number two, you might want to pick where you think you'll fit the best. It's not necessarily going to be comfortable, but it'll be best for you in the long run, picking where you fit, not only organization-wise, but class-wise, depending on your physique. Give yourself a realistic time to diet down. That's why I'm doing this, because there's no need to crash diet if you're fairly lean. And if you're not that lean right now, I'm literally giving you the schedule into August of 2016. So you have plenty of time. You shouldn't have to kill yourself. You shouldn't have to crash. You shouldn't have to ruin your metabolisms. You shouldn't have to drive people crazy and yourself crazy. So I'm hoping that, again, you take some of this and I offer some perspective, and hopefully it makes sense for you. You know what I mean? So Um, Also, this is one thing you should do to find out, to kind of segue into where you fit. Um, Look at pics of past lineups and competitors and see if it makes sense for you to compete in the division and organization that you ultimately want to choose. That's really cool. That's what you should do. That's really your homework. It's only a couple things. So that part is there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over some of the schedule shows coming up, and I'm not going to take much more time, but so what we're looking at is basically from November 2015 into August 2016, the shows that I feel, based on the promoters, based on, it's not even organization based, because there are going to be 3 organizations mentioned based on the list here, but the promoters that I feel just do to cover all the aspects that I was talking about. So the websites are going to be above the links above this video. So if you have any questions, whatever, you can contact the organizations up top and the promoters up top. But first up is I'm going to promote. I'm going to talk about Sean's Sully Sullivan show. He's got a new one. It's November 21st. It's not a pro qualifier, but there are going to be pro events, and it's a Masters Pro qualifier. So if you are a Masters, you have a chance of winning a Masters Pro card in the OCB IFPA. That's November 21st in Providence, Rhode Island. So if you're still kind of lean and you feel you want to sneak in a little bit, then check it out. It's going to obviously be a great show. Go to the ocbwebsite.com. It'll be above there. Now, March. First run of shows that are coming up. March 13th. This is now a WNBF show. It has been confirmed. It's the Thaw. Justin, Amy, Joel Napolitano, great friends of mine. They promote this show, and they also promote the Yankee Classic in July, which will also be a pro qualifier, WNBF pro qualifier in Newburyport, Massachusetts. So WNBF website will be up there too. If you got any questions, talk to them. April 2nd, Newport, Rhode Island. Brandy Nick Navis will be doing also an OCB show. This is an OCB Battle of the Beach. It's a pro qualifier. So if you have any questions about pro qualifiers, I'm not going to get into that. Read the guidelines in the respective organizations, or inbox me or ask me. That same month, April 16, 2016, in Westbrook, Maine, is the Pine Tree. That's promoted by Scott Florent. Great show. It's grown exponentially every year. And these are all pro qualifiers, by the way, save for November. And Mike O'Hearn, if you know Titan from American Gladiators, he'll be guest posing. He's been showing up every year consistently. So you got to give Scott, I definitely got to give Scott props, because he has taken that show and made it grow tremendously. So check that out. And April 23rd, the following week. So if you do April 16th and you polygraph, that's your first show, you'll be allowed to go into the 23rd, as long as you pass the polygraph, of course. The Spirit of America, Sean Sullivan. Really nothing else to say about that show. It's a fantastic show. You're going to get the best competitors and the best of the best. So it's a great show. Look it up. OCB show also. Another OCB show, May 21st, Burlington, New Jersey. It's the Jersey Natural Open. That's Joe Franco promotes that. Fantastic guy, great promoter. He also promotes another show, August 27th, same location, Burlington, New Jersey, Battle of the Belts. That is also an OCB show. So check that out. And there's a first-time show I'm promoting, July 16th of 2016. It's an ANBF show in Fairfield, Connecticut. I know I know that Heather and Frank are the two main promoters, but the person of interest to contact is Stephanie Spiridakis. She's actually the lead person, so her link will be up above this video too. That's really it. That's all I have right now. But in my opinion, just based on the people, based on my experiences with these shows, these are 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 6 shows. Pretty simple. OCB, WNBF. Actually, there's more, but OCB, WNBF, ANBF. Right now, those 3 shows I feel pretty strongly about because I've either been part of them as a competitor or as a judge, both. But I hope it helped. I hope I didn't overwhelm you. I ran way longer than it should have, but I hope I wanted to. I know I'm not going to cover everything, but I'm hoping to offer perspective, give you options, and maybe it will help you, the competitor, at the end, the natural competitor at the end, see where you fit. And like I said, go on the websites, read the guidelines, see if it makes sense for you, look at some pictures, ask questions. The most important thing, ask questions. And thank you again. Have a great night. I wish you all success. I hope to see many of you on the circuit, either on stage or wherever out in the open. So take care, and hopefully this will not be the last time I make another vlog, but we'll see. Talk to you soon.